Hello again everyone. In today's lecture, we'll discuss about different type of networking devices and which are included in your syllabus. Find networking devices here are the different hardware devices that facilitate the communication between your computer and the internet. Okay, they can be used say for connecting your computer to the internet. They can be used for transmitting the data from your machine to another machine, or they also are there maybe to find out the best route or the best path for sending the message from your side to the other side. Right, so that is what we will be discussing here. We'll start with the first one, the Ethernet card. Ethernet card is also referred to as the network interface card, and because this is a hardware devices that provide internet service to your computer. This is actually the one that interface your computer to the network connection. So this is a computer hardware here that is designed to allow your computer to access the network medium. They are normally fitted to an extension slot in a motherboard. When you have your motherboard, and in a motherboard there will be an extension slot where this device will be fitted in. They are the one depending on the quality of your network interface card. This one will determine the speed and the performance of your network. That means if you have very high quality network interface card, your network speed will be very fast. Right? The quality of your network here depends on the network interface card. And they are also the hardware devices that provide the IP address. IP address here is a unique identification to every computer that is connected in a network. In your case, you have a roll number, and your roll number differentiates one student from another student in the college. Likewise, when you are connected, your device, that means is connected to the internet. We have to find some means to differentiate them from one another. So that is why we have an IP address, right? The unique identification of every computer that is connected to the internet. Okay, this is how your network interface card will look like. Right? So this one here will be fitted to the motherboard of your computer, and then this is this particular slot, a particular port where you will use an RJ45, the one that we discussed in your twisted pair cable. You use an RJ45 and then you insert it through this particular port so that your computer now will be connected to the internet connection. This is the device that allows the internet connection. Whereas in order to actually bring out the internet connection to this device, you need the RJ connector cable. Right? We'll discuss that in next section. Now RJ45, we have discussed a little bit about this in your twisted pair cable in the previous lecture. Right? RJ45 here stands for a registered jack 45. Fine. When your computer is connected using a cable connection, that means wired connection, you use this cable in order to connect your computer to a local area network. Fine. So you have this particular port here. You insert your RJ45 to this one, and then your computer, this NIC card which is fitted to your computer motherboard, your computer now will get the internet connection. This RJ45 here is more or less similar to that of the RJ11, the one that is used in a cable connection. But they are more wider, they are much wider compared to that of your RJ11. Next one here is a modem, which stands for a modulator and a demodulator. If you remember here, your computer understands only one language, which is the binary language or the digital language, which comprises of the 0 and 1 combination. So your computer understands only language that is speaking using 0 and 1 combination. Now, what happens is if you have to transmit your message from your computer to another computer, and it have to be transmitted through communication channel, which can be either wired or wireless connection. Now, in order for it to transmit through the communication channel, it cannot be transmitted using a digital signal. It has to be transmitted using an analog signal, which will be somewhat in the form of a wave. So now this modem will allow your devices to convert from analog to its digital signal, and likewise from digital signal to its analog signal. So this is how it works. And you have your computer, there's another computer that you want to interact. Now your computer will send the message in the form of 0 and 1 right from here. So this message will be transmitted through a modem. Your modem will convert those signal to an analog signal, I mean this one, in the form of a wave. Fine. Through this will be your communication channel, this entire region here. Now from there, when it reaches the destination, it have to be again converted back to 0 and 1 so that your this computer understands that. So fine. So this analog signal will then pass over to through the modem, and then your this modem will again convert the analog signal back to its equivalent digital signal. So this is how your modem works. Convert digital to analog, and likewise if the signal is in analog, it will convert the analog signal to its digital form. Just you can pause this one and then go through all these points. Okay, now the next devices that we'll discuss is actually the switch. But in order for you to understand how exactly a switch works, okay, so we will try to recall what we have discussed here. Now this, if you remember, this is your star topology. In star topology, what you have is you have a concentrator or a central body, which is your hub. Now your hub here use broadcast communication. That means when this same machine wants to communicate with this machine will send a message to the hub, but your hub will have no means to differentiate, okay, or to tell that the message is intended for this computer. So what it'll do is, when the message from here reaches the hub will send a message to all the devices that are directly connected to it. So the message will be sent to this, likewise to this devices. So in this case, what will happen is there will be a lot of traffic in all directions, right? So in order to prevent that from happening, what we have is we will replace the hub by that of a switch. Now in case of a switch is also referred to as a multiple port hub. It's almost the same as that of a hub, but it have more port. I mean you can insert more number of machines to the switch. And your switch here provide connection within a local area network. Remember, it is only within a local area network. Now the main difference between your hub and a switch is that your switch here use unicast communication. By unicast, or we call it a point-to-point communication. That means when this machine again want to interact with this machine, the message will be sent to a switch. Now switch here have sort of a filter table where it'll store the address of every machine that is connected to it. So when the message comes to the switch will find out where exactly the receiver is connected to. Now that message then will be forwarded only to this machine. It will not be forwarded to all the other machines. So what will happen in that case? This will prevent the traffic from overloading, right? The message will be sent only to this route, and this two route now will be free. And so that is how your switch works. Okay. Multiple port hub, the same thing that I've mentioned. It reduces and at the same time prevent traffic overloading in a network. It stores the address of every devices in a network using a filter table. I mean all the devices that is directly connected to it. Okay, next one, what you have here, you have a local area network. Okay, all the circle, this is your local area network, and all the devices inside local area network is connected. The picture is not very clear. Connected using either a switch or a hub. This is also a switch or a hub. Now when you want to start interacting with devices outside your local area network, I mean when you want to connect your this local area network to a wide area network, your this computer will be connected. That means your local area network will be connected with the help of a router. So you send a message from your computer to the switch send it to the router, and then the router in turn will send it to the switch of another machine, and then that machine will send a message to the device that you want to connect. Fine. So this is when you want to connect your computer to a wide area network. I mean in general to a to the internet. Now see here, in case of this particular of a router will connect you with the help of an internet service provider. So you'll send a message to this, but where do you get the internet service? The actual internet, you get it from your internet service provider. Internet service provider are those company that provides internet service to you. Say for example in your cell phone, if you're using a BSNL connection, so BSNL will be your internet service provider. If you're using Airtel, okay, Airtel will be your internet service provider. So every internet service provider will have their own router. Right? So router will connect to the internet service provider, This will in turn connect to all the other devices. We will look into all that later on. And so this is how your router works. It establishes connection between all the different network, I mean the different local area network. It will be routing a packet in a network. In this case, your router will also maintain a table, trying to differentiate all the devices to know which are the devices that are connected to it. And at the same time, okay, it'll always find out the best path. Okay, that means in the internet what happens, you have endless number of routes, right, through which a device can communicate to another devices. So what your router will be doing is, it will be the responsibility of the router to always find out the best path or the best route. Fine, when we say best path, I mean the one maybe which is the shortest and the one maybe which have less amount of traffic. Okay, so it also prevent collision by directing the traffic. If you are if you are trying to say transmit a message through a route which have very heavy traffic, your router will tell you that okay, there is another route which is less, where there are less traffic, and then your devices will be sent to them. It maintains the address of all the devices, including if there are also another router that are included in, it will also maintain the address of all those router. Okay, next one here is a gateway. Gateway here, in order for you to understand this clearly, gateway you can consider it as sort of a checkpoint. Right? So now, say for example, if you have to travel from one place to another place, what happens is you might have to go through different checkpoints. Okay, so likewise here, in case of your internet, in case of your network, your device here on the network, it allows your devices, the gateway allows the devices on a network and serve as an entrance to another network. So from your network, if you want to go to anyone else's network, you have to go through the gateway. Now what exactly happens in gateway? In your gateway here, which is devices or a software or maybe a hardware, this will check actually for the packet that is transmitted. Okay, so this is how you actually find out if say a virus or some unauthorized user tries to enter your network. Fine, so all the checking will be done there, so that your gateway will be able to find out that whatever is supposed to enter your network, that is actually an authorized data or an authorized device. So a gateway here can be implemented in either the software or hardware or combination of both. Generally nowadays you have a gateway which are implemented only in the form of a software. They are always associated with a router and a switch. And a router will help a gateway to transfer the message outside the network, whereas in order for the message to be transmitted to a network, within a network, the gateway will take the help of a switch. They are used for data translation and also for protocol conversion. We'll discuss about protocol properly later on. So okay, at this point maybe you'll not understand what exactly it is, but okay, your different machine here speaks or use different protocol. So the gateway here will allows your protocol, okay, to be translated so that another network can understand your protocol. Protocol here is some sort of rules, and that your devices have to follow in order for it to communicate in a network. Next one here is the Wi-Fi card. Fine. Wi-Fi card is normally nowadays what you get is you get a Wi-Fi card that is already inbuilt. That means in your computer or maybe in your mobile phone, smartphone nowadays, it comes with an already inbuilt Wi-Fi card. But if you use say old computer or older version laptop, what happens is you need to insert an external Wi-Fi card. It'll come in the form of almost the same like your pen drive. If you look at it, it'll look like a pen drive. It is small and they are portable cards that connect computer to the internet through a wireless network, unlike that of your RJ45 which connect it with the help of your NIC card. This one here will allow your computer to be connected here using a wireless connection. So here what happens is they use sort of a radio wave. Remember the radio wave that we have discussed in the wireless connection? So your Wi-Fi card here uses radio wave. The Wi-Fi card that I have already mentioned can be an external or internal. Nowadays it's internal, which means it is inbuilt. Okay. So this is what your Wi-Fi card is all about. Okay, so with this we have come to the end of this particular lecture. We'll stop here for today. Thank you very much.